Hey everyone, it's me Lone here with another Fallout 3 video. If you missed the last one, it is in the description below, and there we talk about whether you should be modding Fallout 3 in 2021. But today, we're going to be talking about the brand new update that just went live for Fallout 3 on Steam. So if you enjoyed this video, please like it, I would really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new, with notifications if that's possible. But with all that out of the way, let's get to the content. Alrighty, we're going to be looking at two things today. First up, I got the patch notes for the latest Steam update for Fallout 3. Specifically, it is update 1.7.0.4. And essentially what this does is it removes the Games for Windows Live dependencies that Fallout 3 used to have on Steam and now no longer has. The GOG version already removed this, so people that had the game there, including myself, didn't have to worry about this anymore. But if you had it on Steam previously, it did mean you have to use some workarounds, some particular mods to get rid of Games for Windows Live to ensure your game could actually run. So let's actually read the patch notes. It's very short, of course. It says Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition has been updated and no longer installs Games for Windows Live dependencies. If Fallout 3 was previously installed on Steam, we suggest uninstalling and reinstalling the title. The title no longer requires Games for Windows Live and will now launch. So, as you know, when Fallout 3 came out, it was effectively bundled in and tied in with Games for Windows Live on PC. And it caused all sorts of issues when Games for Windows Live stopped becoming a thing. Effectively, it meant that you had to fix the game yourself and remove that dependency for Games from Windows Live. People that mod their game knew how to do this. I won't say that it was a simple fix. For people that know what they're doing, it is a simple fix. But yeah, that's what you had to do to ensure your game could actually run. If you didn't do that, Fallout 3 would pretty much just fail to launch and would crash, cause all sorts of issues. But now it's really good news to see that this update is live, which means that you don't need to do any of those fixes yourself. You can just download this version of Fallout 3 on Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, and at the very least, the Games for Windows Live issue is no longer going to cause your game to just not boot up entirely. However, I still need to preface that you might still have some issues running Fallout 3, the Steam version specifically, on Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 10, and even Windows 11. God knows what the situation is with that operating system. But you're still going to have issues running that version on those operating systems because there's still a few other fixes that you typically need to do to get Fallout 3 to run successfully on those operating systems. And I mentioned this literally in my previous video. The GOG version actually bundles in a lot of those fixes. So for instance, the large address enabler for Fallout 3, essentially it means that your game can use more memory. That fix is actually bundled in with GOG, but it's not with Steam. It's a fairly easy fix, but it's something you're still going to have to do for Steam to ensure that, especially if you want to use mods, that the game is stable and can actually utilize the full memory when it comes to that. So you're still going to have to do the large address enabler. You're still going to have to change any files to ensure that you can actually use mods for Fallout 3. There's a few other things that you need to do to get it running successfully. And as I said, if you want to avoid those headaches, you can still go with GOG. But at the very least, this is one less thing that you need to do when it comes to running the Steam version of Fallout 3 on any of those newer operating systems. However, it is important to point out that because Fallout 3 just got updated, this is effectively broken, if you will, FOSE, the Fallout script extender. And the script extender, if you don't know, is almost necessary to run mods for Fallout 3. There are some where you don't technically need the script extender, but most of them, and most of the good ones, you really do need to have the script extender installed. So it's something that you pretty much need to do if you want to be modding your game. However, every time there is a new update for a Fallout 3 or for a Fallout New Vegas, it doesn't matter what it is, FOSE and the script extenders have to be updated to reflect the fact that it's technically a new executable for the game. So if you updated your Steam version today, you would have found if you used FOSE that it simply would not work, right? And some people are like, well, now you've just broken my game more, you've broken my mods more. However, it's something that always happens. It always happens even when, Fallout 4 from memory is updated or when New Vegas is updated. As soon as there is a new update, the script extenders for those games have to be changed and updated to work with the new executable. Now, the question is, when is FOSE going to be updated? Because a lot of you still want to be modding your game and playing your game with mods. It's great that if you want to run vanilla Fallout 3, that you can do so without Games for Windows Live. But what about you? Well, I'm going to go change to the FOSE website because the devs actually have made an update about this new Steam update for Fallout 3. So specifically, it is here, the 2021 10/12 update. That is definitely in American time format for date. But if you are seeing this particular error, or simply crashes in general, the FOSE team has said that Bethesda has released an update labeled 1.7.0.4 on Steam, which is the one, of course, that we just talked about. This does two things: remove Games for Windows Live and updates the compiler to VS 2019. I do not have a time frame for when FOSE can be updated to this new version. So the reason why I want to point this out is that the team has indicated that they are aware of this new update. I think a lot of people were concerned that because Fallout 3 is such an old game, that a lot of these modders that create mods and the devs that work on FOSE simply weren't even active anymore. That's not true. They are still active. They are still working on FOSE. And they've acknowledged the fact that they do need to update FOSE to run with this new version of Fallout 3 on Steam, but they just don't have a time frame. All I wanted to do in this video was highlight that the fix is going to come eventually. Whether it's a week from now, 2 weeks from now, I don't know. Hopefully it's days from now, so FOSE does work with Fallout 3 moving forward. But you just need to be a little bit patient, and eventually that fix is going to come. Now, I've seen from some people that if you had an old version of the Fallout 3 executable, you can technically use that and that'll still work with the current version of FOSE. I don't know if that's true or not, but eventually this is going to be fixed anyways. If you have the GOG version, of course, like I do, there's nothing has changed, right? The game's still going to work with the or the FOSE, sorry, is still going to work with the GOG version. So you don't need to do anything because GOG was never updated, right? It was just the Steam version. So if you have the Steam version, if you haven't updated yet, maybe wait till you update if you really want to get rid of that Games for Windows Live and get the latest version. However, if you have updated, you just can't use FOSE until they release an update or a fix for it. So hopefully this video has helped you in that regard. Let me know if you have any other questions in the comments below. But with that out of the way, let's get to the conclusion of the video. Alrighty, Wastelanders, that is all from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourselves, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.